Whether you're feeling tight from a bad night's sleep, too much time at a desk or in front of devices, or simply by sport that you're playing, the series is going to be for you if you're experiencing neck or shoulder discomfort. Today I'm using a cork ball, however you're more than welcome to use a tennis ball. I'm a big fan of softer balls, but for this series, when you want to get into that spot, this is what's going to be most effective. So we're going to grab a hold of that, make sure you've got a wall surface to be against, and then if you have longer hair, make sure you tie it up and out of the way so that you can access where you want to be. So the first thing we're going to do is just find the spot that you are feeling a little discomfort in. And when you place the ball against the back of the wall, you'll notice immediately that if it's in the right position or not. So I can tell you now, that's good, but that's not really where it is for me. So I need to bring that ball up a little higher. And it's quite a precise movement or positioning. And your body is so intelligent, of course, is going to tell you where to be. So the first part of the movement is just to start to roll up and down the length of the spine. So we are not on the spine, you're in the gap between the spine and the shoulder blade for this movement. And just a couple of bends into the knee and lengthens. And that's just going to get a little bit of feeling of massaging out the back. And this is delicious all on itself, but we're going to be making it more and more intense as we go. And you'll probably find that as you do the rolling, you're going to start to notice different areas are going to be highlighted. So a lot of people blame the shoulder, but the shoulder is just the shoulder blade lives on the back of the rib cage. It's surrounded by about 15 muscles. So, there's a lot of stuff happening there that we want to get access to. So once you've found, okay, this is where my spot is, you're going to reach your arm out in front of you. You can do palm down, palm up, sideways, whatever. And you're just going to move your arm forward. And as you do that, your shoulder blade is going to start to travel more to the front of the body. And then you're going to bring that shoulder blade back and move it a little bit more towards the wall behind you. So you're going to be moving that ball slightly inward. And then again, moving the arm forward and back. Now, if you're doing this and you're getting tension here, maybe lower the arm a little bit. But the hope is that you could just kind of be in this position without excessive tension at the top of the shoulder line. So this movement we're doing here is called protraction as we reach forward and retraction as we bring it back. So turn your palm to face down if it wasn't already. We're going to do another retraction, but we're going to be pulling the elbow back behind us. And as you do that, your shoulder blade will come closer to the spine and you'll get an opening through the front of the chest. And then we bring the arm forward again. As I mentioned, lots of things are connecting the shoulder girdle. So, there's a three-dimensional relationship with everything. So we're just going to be addressing those things as we do this sequence. Something I want you to think about is if you've got a sore shoulder on the one side, we could just do the series on the one side. But often if there's dysfunction or unhappiness on one side of the body, there will be a corresponding something on the other side. All right, and then from there, we're going to just rest your arm down and we're going to do the next movement of your shoulder blade, which is what we call an elevation. So bringing the shoulder up to the ear, and a depression, bringing the shoulder down. So are you able to do that with just the feeling of the shoulder blade sliding up and down on the back of the body, the collarbone sliding up and down on the front of the body, and then not really moving the body yet? We're going to be doing that in a moment. So just sensing how that is feeling. And then as we do the movement again, I'm going to ask you to do a little side bend away. So you're going to lift your shoulder up and side bend towards the opposite direction, and then coming back, lower the shoulder and side bend toward it. So we bring the shoulder up and side bend away, and then bringing the shoulder down and side bend toward. So we're just hitting again multiple places of attachments or potential tension in different muscle groups. It is so not important for you to understand or know what those muscles are, but just doing these actions are going to be useful. All right, we're going to bring our arm up and around behind the back of the head. As soon as we do that, we've changed the angle of the shoulder blade. So the shoulder blade is now pointing out to the side. We've got a lot of access behind us in the ribs. So what we're going to do here is a little rotation. So turning towards the opposite shoulder and then turning back. So the wall is going to stop you from going too far, and that's important. And then as I'm in this position, I can feel already, hang on, that's not the right place for my ball to be anymore. So I want to bring it down just a little lower. And it's right now, I've got so much more access to where it was before. The shoulder blade was covering the back of the rib cage. Now it's exposing that area. And now I'm getting deep, deep into the stretch or the pressure point I'm after. And you can bring the elbow across your body at the same time. So we turn to the side, but then also follow the elbow further over. And that's going to get even more of our move. And then one more time as we do that. And then bringing it back again. And then just easing that arm down. So from here, we're going to go into our last movement on the side. And that's going to be a head nod. So you're going to drop the head down and you're going to feel like you're peeling away from the ball, even though you're still against it, and then rolling yourself up and go into an arched position. So eyes can look up. My hair clip is getting in the way, so I can't go too high up, and that's not a problem. And then again, going forward. So as I go forward, my bottom is touching onto the wall gently. And as I start to go in the opposite way, my bottom is leaving the wall. So I'm making what we call a flexion of the spine round, and then we're going to make an extension of the spine as we stack up tall. We'll do that one more time, going into the gentle curve. Let the shoulders really drop forward. That's the point. You want them to be nice and loose. And then going into the opposite direction. All right, so just from that position there, you'll probably notice, wow, that looks and feels different. I like to just do a test between them. I can feel, even though I can't see, that the shoulder seems lower, and I know that because this arm seems longer. It also feels a little heavier as it's dropped down to the floor. And then if I had to do a test of the two arms going back, this left shoulder that I just worked is going way further back elbow position than the right arm. But I'm not done. So I said all about that in the back, but we also want to address what's happening at the front. So now we're going to put the front of the chest onto the ball that you've got. So as we place it on, we're going to be somewhere between the collarbone and the top of the nipple line. So that's around about your first 4 ribs, close to the chest bone, and then out towards the outside of where your arm is hanging. So there are a few big muscles in this area. The first one, the closest to the skin here, is called the pectoralis major. I know it's funny, didn't I say you don't need to know these names, and here I go spouting them out for you. But it's a big muscle and it takes up quite a lot of room. So we just want to be very gentle with this area. Beneath that, of course, are the ribs and all the muscles in between the ribs. And you're going to be quite amazed, I imagine, at how tender this area can be. So part of your shoulder blade is living at the front of your chest over here. So when we're on it, just be gentle. Maybe your fingers go numb a little bit or tingly. We're also playing around where some of our big nerves are coming out through the collarbone, from neck collarbone down the arm. So there's, again, heaps of stuff going on, but this is such a valuable place to be and so worthwhile. As I'm here, I've got like a pain coming in. Pain's not the right word, a sensation coming into my underarm and then down to my baby finger. And that feels really good right now, just to release that area out. And then I'm going to rest away from that. And again, if I wanted to, I could do that comparison left to right and just feel again, wow, that's even more different. Now I feel like I'm wider across the chest, from my chest bone to my left shoulder, and my right one is just begging for a little bit of attention. So even though at the moment my right shoulder is not my issue and my left one is giving me a little bit of information, I still want to address the right side. So we're going to repeat some of the series. So you don't have to do the whole thing, but it's good to at least talk to the other side. So we're going to start on the chest. So we'll put the ball again against the shoulder. Now I'm going to look away to the other side, because that's what you want to do when you are on the chest. You're going to be looking in the opposite direction. That's going to open up the neck a little bit. And you could even send your arm out and away from you if your arm is happy to be out. You could play with different positions of your palm being up or your palm being down, or you could just rest that arm down at your side. As we felt on the back of the body, you know, when the ball starts to be in a different position, then change it. If it needs to go somewhere else, if you're finding a new spot. like really explore, but explore with a sense of gentle curiosity. So I don't want to brutalize my body. It's often why I don't use a harder ball, because my body goes into resistance against it rather than allowance. So as I'm going and really gently with this move, it's just giving me heaps of new information. All right, I'm already breathing better on that side. Bear thinks this is a great time to say hi to everyone, and we're going to finish with it on the back of the body again. Now, you are welcome to go through that entire series, but often you'll find with shoulders you're more specific on one side than the other. So all I'm going to do with this version today is just going up and down on the back. So again, between the spine and the shoulder blade, there's a lovely, what I call a like a trough or a valley, and I'm just going to be rolling up and down in that area. Yes, Bear. I know you want to come up and say hi. We're almost done. And then we're going to do 2 more moves with this one. So that's just the rolling up and down. And again, like I said, if you feel and pick that spot to be, oh, wow, that feels good, stay and do all the other things. Next move we're going to add is that forward flexion. So we're going to roll the head just gently down. And the feeling is that the weight of the head is dropping towards the floor. The tail is dropping to the floor. So you've got this big stretch on the spine. And then going in the opposite way, tail flicking back, head flicking up, or sorry, chest bone flicking up. And then we'll do that 2 more times into the gentle curve. Let the arms be soft and draped in front, and then open the chest back. 1 more time like this. And then my favorite move is going to be the rotation move. So we're going to put our my right hand at the moment behind the back of the head, and then I'm going to turn in this direction and then pull that elbow across a little bit and then open and look the other way. And again, pull and cross. And the reason I do this is because there is a major connection between the upper back and the shoulder blade. They're completely dependent on each other, reliant on each other, and affect each other. So the way my upper back is positioned will have a major effect on where my shoulder is positioned and how it is or isn't moving well for me. And then we'll bring all of that back down. All right, I'm going to leave that as is. As I look at you now on camera, I feel like I've got an even brighter smile simply because everything just feels so good. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you find immense relief through doing that as a series. I'm going to take my hair away so I can look better on screen. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. It's always helpful for YouTube to then give that to other people that are looking for similar things. You know, it's my mission to make people feel very comfortable in doing simple things at home that you've got the tools to do instead of always having to be at somebody else's, care. The important thing is that you can look after yourself as well. All right, so from Bear and I, we wish you a wonderful day, and we look forward to seeing you again in another video series soon. Bye.